Hello, hello. My name is Chris Perish, and I want to just say thank you very much for joining in as I give you my 10 WrestleMania matches for this upcoming WrestleMania 40 live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I am going to fantasy book 10 WrestleMania matches here, and this is how I would do it, not how I'm predicting it will show up. But these are matches I'd like to see. And starting off at number 10, I got the man with everyone saying L.A. Knight. Yeah, taking on the United States champion, Logan Paul. I think in the past we have seen a few moments between Logan Paul and LA Knight. And I think this is a great opportunity to get the man that is on the most historic rides in SmackDown history a little bit of gold. And I think LA Knight becomes your new United States champion at WrestleMania 40. And I think finally we see a championship in his sights. And I think this is going to be just another great opportunity for Logan Paul to headline another big time match. I thought he was fantastic last year against Seth Rollins. And now, as a U.S. champion, I don't see him having a long title reign. In fact, I think it's going all the way to WrestleMania, where he would drop that championship to LA Knight. At number 9, I have a 6-man tag team match, which you may think, what? Why? And that's because I think we're going to see a match with the LWO name on the line. Winning team becomes the LWO. And I think this is a giant feud that we're going to see from Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar captaining these two teams, as we see Rey Mysterio with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro as they go up against Santos Escobar, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza, known as Los Lotharios. I think we're going to see a changing of the guard for the LWO. I don't understand why you would bring the LWO only to give it this kind of short-term with no plan kind of in it. Right now, I feel that the LWO has fizzled out, and I think a way to revive it is by giving it to the man who has publicly stated that he was the one who pushed to bring the LWO back, and what better way than to have Rey Mysterio kind of pass the torch and the reins of the LWO to Santos Escobar. At number 8, I think this is a match we're going to see simply because an injury has taken place. That's right. Charlotte Flair is being reported to be out 9 to 12 months with a knee injury. And I think this affected this decision because I do think Charlotte Flair would have been in line for this match. And I have Jade Cargill going up against the man Becky Lynch. Originally, I honestly believe that it was supposed to be Charlotte versus Jade, but with the injury, I think you have to have somebody very experienced. Not because I think Jade Cargill needs that, but I think if it's not Charlotte Flair, you need a very big star and a proven star, and Becky Lynch just fits that category to a T. And I think the man versus Jade Cargill is going to be a match that I think benefits Jade Cargill moving forward. I think Jade Cargill gets a win here, and I think it really sets her apart of what she's going to bring to the WWE with a big win against a very, very big star in Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is one of the biggest female stars in the WWE and all of professional wrestling, that is. And I think what better way to help Jade Cargill by giving her a match of this magnitude. The first woman who won the main event at WrestleMania, Becky Lynch versus Jade Cargill. And I think Jade Cargill gets the win here. And I think after WrestleMania, I wouldn't be surprised if both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins take some time just away. We all know that there is, rumored to be contract negotiations with the two companies. I believe that that's going to be settled before WrestleMania, but with the rumors that they are looking for maybe a lighter schedule or some limited dates, I do think maybe some time away right now after WrestleMania kind of lets them recharge and come back stronger. At number 7, I have a match that, how can you not, in a city that is nicknamed Brotherly Love, how can you not have a war between two brothers, twin brothers, we'll say, Jimmy Uso versus main event Jey Uso. I think this is a match. It just makes sense with the amazing story that was the Bloodline. We saw Jey and Jimmy Uso become one of the most decorated tag teams in all of wrestling. They became the longest reigning and defending tag team champions of all time, holding those titles for well over a year, and just cemented their place as one of the top tag teams in professional wrestling, not just of the current era. In my opinion, I think they do belong in one of the in that category of, when you think of great tag teams, how can you not put the Usos? And then when we saw that shocking betrayal of Jimmy Uso costing his brother Jey that championship opportunity against Roman Reigns, nobody, I think, saw that coming. And I think that kind of stays throughout your build up to the Royal Rumble, as I think Jimmy Uso throwing Jey Uso out would be very telling. I think Jimmy Uso needs to get kind of that up advantage there. And then we see something kind of develop in Elimination Chamber. I think a lot of people would peg Jey Uso right now as more of a top draw than Jimmy Uso is right now. So I don't think if Jey Uso gets tossed out by his brother, it really hinders him at all. In fact, I think it kind of allows you to take Jimmy Uso a little bit more serious, and then it just absolutely bugs Jey Uso that much more that his brother once again cost him a chance to become a heavyweight champion. And I have Jey Uso winning this match at WrestleMania, and I actually do believe we might see a memory that might take place at WrestleMania that we haven't seen in a while, and that is brother versus brother in the city of brotherly love, and we might even see them reconcile. I wouldn't put it past. I think it's just a beautiful story that they can tell, and it's obviously a match both of them have outspokenly said they wanted to do at WrestleMania with their father Rikishi as a referee. So why not have that at WrestleMania? It fits, it makes sense, and it's a match I think a lot of people would love to see. Because I think WWE has done a fantastic job of separately identifying each member of this tag team or the former tag team. And I think this is a dark horse of being a match of the night. At number 6, I have a match that I do think, because of situation, was changed. And I do think that the Charlotte injury changes a lot of the top female direction at WrestleMania. And I think maybe you were looking at Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair and potentially Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. But I think Jade Cargill needing somebody of the Becky Lynch caliber to go up against, I think that warrants that decision and that change. And I think you go right into a match where I think a lot of people can deem these two women as the future top echelon of the women's division. These are your two building blocks that you definitely build around, build a new division as your 1 and 2. And that is Bianca Belair challenging Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's World Championship. I know it's not a Raw title, it's not a SmackDown title, it's just the Women's World Championship. But I think this match is just one of those matches where you got to see, you got your 1A and you got your 1B. And you find out who's better. If you wanted to start talking about the historic feud between these two, you have to put them in matches at a big time event. Nothing's bigger than WrestleMania 40. And I think Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is just one of the chapters of many chapters we'll see in this historic story between these two phenomenal talents. And I have Rhea Ripley retaining the title, as I do not believe she needs to drop the title anytime soon. I think what she's doing right now is phenomenal, and let that ride until the wheels fall off in my eyes. At number 5, I have a match that stays in the women's division, and I think you need to start doing something now with the women's tag team titles at big time events. And I think nothing's better than showcasing 6 top female wrestlers in the tag team division. That's right. I have the tag team champions of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green defending their championships in triple threat action versus the Kabuki Warriors of Kairi Sane and Asuka. With the addition of Kairi Sane, I think that really propels the women's division just to kind of have that added oomph that they need right now, and it gives them a little bit more legitimacy to where, okay, now we have a legit tag team back in the fold, and we can really make these titles look prominent. But I have them going up against the team of Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, who I think are just two incredibly gifted women who are just on the verge of being one of the top acts in the female division. And I think their time is now. I think you have to give them an opportunity, a memory, a moment that stands larger than life. And what better way to do that on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania? So I have the team of Katana Chance and Kaden Carter defeating the Kabuki Warriors, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven, become your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And I think that's going to be a fantastic match. At number 4, I have a match that, I was lucky to see a very early tease at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. And that was the moment where we saw Gunther and Brock Lesnar. And right away, the crowd said, yeah, we want this. And I don't think anything will change. I think Brock Lesnar, who is being rumored to return at the Royal Rumble, I think it would be an amazing moment to see Brock Lesnar throw out Gunther. And I think that would just, light up the crowd. The crowd would get absolutely just invested in this. And then this can build towards an Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania, a title that Brock Lesnar's never had. I don't think he needs, but it's a great story because it's a different championship that, he could go for. And what better way to legitimize the Intercontinental Championship by having people like Brock Lesnar and Gunther compete at WrestleMania 4. And I think this match is going to be one of those two titans collide, and it's going to be fantastic. I have Gunther retaining the championship because I do think Gunther is probably the man to watch in 2024. At number 3, I have probably the most obvious match for the women's WWE Women's Championship, and that is Bayley versus Io Sky. I think it's no question that Io Sky, Asuka, Dakota Kai, and Kairi Sane are looking at Bayley kind of like, you know what, your time maybe in Damage Control is just about up. So I think we're going to see a division in Damage Control. I think Bayley is that person who is set to be kicked out. And I think what better way to have her climb back in that fight against Damage Control, a group she started, a group that she manifested in her own mind to create, to help elevate other women, only to be on the outside looking at her own creation doing great without her. No, that can't sit well. So I have Bayley fighting and clawing her way back up by winning the 2024 Royal Rumble and challenging and defeating Io Sky for that championship at WrestleMania 40. Number 1 and 2s are probably the most obvious. It's not just obvious. It's not just what I want to see. It's matches that I think everyone wants to see. I think we want to see a story being finished. And that's right. At number 2, I have Roman Reigns defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And I think this is a match that needs a second act. And I think Cody Rhodes, I don't think he's going to win the Royal Rumble again in 2024. So I'm very curious to see how he gets back to Roman Reigns. We've seen some form of interaction between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns post WrestleMania 39. And this leads me to believe that, this is not done. There's still more here. The story needs to be told and needs to be finished. And I think at WrestleMania 40, we see from a true one-on-one, we see Cody Rhodes finish that story and defeat Roman Reigns to become the new WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. And at number 1, I think we have a match that I don't know if anybody would have said 5 weeks ago was even plausible. It's a match that I think everybody wants to see now. I think if you watched Monday Night on Raw, you saw the very first interaction between Seth freaking Rollins and CM Punk. And everyone was glued to the television screen. Everyone was talking about the in-ring promo segment that these two had, absolute fire that these two men had. And the match is something that you're going to want to see. And I think what better way to give it to you in one of the main event nights. Now, I say that loosely because it'll be one of the last matches of either night 1 or night 2. In my personal opinion, I believe the main event is the match that closes the show. It is the last match of WrestleMania. It's the last match of night 2. I don't think the last match of night 1 is a WrestleMania main event. I think it's just the last match at night 1. But that doesn't mean anything. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now that means something. And I think it's a match that we all want to see, and we are all curious to see how it winds up. And I think this match is going to be a match where we actually find out if CM Punk comes back for the right reason or the wrong reason. Because we all know how good he is for business. We all know how much merchandise he puts out. We all know how historic and how viewed his comeback at War Games was. There's no denying the business CM Punk brings to the WWE. But let's also not sugarcoat what Seth Rollins means to the WWE. He is one of the most talented performers of our generation. He has been the glue that's held the WWE together for the 10 years that CM Punk was away. I mean, when you look at him with the Shield, when you look at his transition out of the Shield, being that corporate champion, all of a sudden getting hurt, coming back, fighting back, winning that championship, cashing in at WrestleMania, the heist of the century, only to become the Beast Slayer, the Game Slayer. There's so many things that Seth Rollins has done in the last 10 years that just go maybe pushed under the rug because, he just does it night in and night out. But you know what? You can't overlook consistency. And when you need a big time match, when you need a big time moment, Seth Rollins' name generally is surrounding that. When you wanted an opponent for the American Nightmare who came back, you wanted Seth Rollins. When you needed a match of amazing main event caliber for Logan Paul at WrestleMania, you asked Seth Rollins. So yeah, I think Seth Rollins CM Punk is going to be a match that once in a lifetime. It really is. Yes, we've seen it before, but we've never seen it before in the way that these two are now. The story that each man has just to get to this spot has been riveting. It's been just amazing to watch. And I think this is going to be an absolute show stealer. And I have Seth Rollins retaining his World Heavyweight Championship. But I have Damian Priest cashing in and walking out of WrestleMania 40 as the new World Heavyweight Champion. He doesn't make it a triple threat like Seth Rollins, but just when Seth Rollins thought he got over the CM Punk saga, he was met with a vicious Judgment Day of his own. As the Punisher of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest walks out with the championship. And I think that in itself is just amazing, because how apropos would it be that the man who first cashed in at WrestleMania became the first victim since at WrestleMania to be cashed in on. I think that there's legs there. I think that would be an amazing story to see. Yeah, so those are the 10 matches that I would book for WrestleMania 40. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I would be very intrigued to see what you had. So yeah, I've been Chris Perish. I will see you next time. Have a good day, everyone.